Okay, I didn't realize the microphone was still on, but that's okay. All right, so still trying to test the limits here of Super Grok. Okay. All right, I think I will. All right, I think I will start a new combo and see how far you can read when I don't have anything in the combo. Thanks. Don't save. Okay. Um, Select all. Come, I can't select all in here like this. Select all, Control A. No, that's not what I want to do. File, export. Oh, directly as PDF to export. Yes, replace it. Okay, let's go ahead and attach it. We're gonna upload a file. That one. Open. Save. I just uploaded a file, PDF, to the sources, small files, sources section. Can you tell me what the last line you can read is? Because I'm wondering if it can do up to 50K or 20K or whatever, uh, then um, page 9, page up to page 9. Okay, that's right. I'm using the redot engine. Okay, control. I'm using the redot engine. It says it appears to be page 9. Um, can you tell me the sentence just before I'm using the redot engine? I don't care if it fills up the context. See, what it is there's a max, right? And so the context window gets filled. Oh, I also asked Gemini if it could handle that, and it actually said it could very well on the paid, and it can kind of do okay on the free tier. But what it was saying is they prefer to ingest the thing into the conversation, into the memory, right? Instead of scanning it, because if you scan something, um, it might only look stuff up, but it's not going to be able to catch everything, right? So the example it gave is if an NPC is wearing a blue ring, and you ask it, is it wearing a blue ring? Um, if it's several hundred pages like away from the actual description of the NPC, then it wouldn't be able to pull that up. It would probably say no. Why? Because it's not in the main part of it. Although, honestly, I think it should be able to scan the whole document, go through each thing, and find every reference to the NPC. If I told it, it should be able to do that. But I don't know. Have many characters with their own arcs. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see how many characters that is. It's probably the 20,000 character, right? Okay, 15,000. Okay, 16,000. So that gives you an effective chunk of about 16,000 characters. We could say 15K to be safe. Yes, but I'm testing constraints because in another conversation, you only effectively read about half a page. That's the because the conversation was so long. And that was only about 2,400 characters. Okay. Welcome. May not get anywhere today after trying to figure out how to effectively use rock. Got your test chunk here. The roadmap pages 1 through 9 clocks in roughly, depending on the exact white space. The effective context window handles significantly more than half the page now. Um, okay. Oh, do you know the token limit of a conversation? It's gonna be whatever 400, I guess, or something. Effective conversation context window for Grok. Up to 2 million on the latest models. Max amount of tokens. Full 2 million is available. 256K. Very long conversation. Fractal slowdowns. So, really, it just means that I need to divide my document into about 8 pages per chunk, which seems pretty low. I have 300 pages, and divided by 10, that would be 30. And you don't have that many files. I can do divided by 8. Okay, I can actually just do it in the calculator. So divided by 8 equals 37.5. And I do the thing where I get it to write a Python program to take all of my room files and then put it into one using a certain format, putting it into one document, and then I can upload that document by itself, and so it will have the complete history until that point. 37.5 pages, roughly 40 files. That's quite a bit of files. Current chunking is already conservative or confined thread. The full 40 to 60 pages in one go before hitting a hard wall. Aim for natural breaks every 3 to 5 pages, major section. Well, doable, but tedious. Well, this is mostly a dump file, so I would need some significant reorganization, particularly removing duplicate text. And perhaps grouping per character. Either or something. I mean, I guess I could manually reorganize. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of time to do that in. Um, I don't actually want it to do that because I have to upload the whole thing. I mean, I wouldn't mind it doing it. Like I might could get it to do that. Repetitive section here, overlapping page numbers, duplicate phase descriptions, appear multiple times. Mm, Um, I'll have to think about it for a bit. Uh, is there a way to is there a way that instead of ingesting the file or files into conversation, 300 pages into the conversation that instead I could use the document as a storage source so that it doesn't use up tokens. So if I wanted you to search for all the notes on John Thomas, um, you could simply access the file and then inject only what I asked for. It's kind of curious. Gemini said that it prefers doing everything. It's why it has a large context window, everything in memory, so that you can ask it. They can process the whole file as a whole file. It also has a thing called Gems, which is basically uses Google storage, Google Drive, uh, and will access. It calls it retrieval access generation or something like that, where basically it's generating stuff based off of stuff it retrieves and uses gems to do that, so that you're not actively using up your context. Although supposedly with the big context window, if you pay for Gemini Pro, I think it's called, it barely uses up 15% of its context window. So I could easily fit that whole thing in there and not have a problem. Interesting. How come you can only read to page 9, but when I ask something specific, you can do that? Actually, maybe I should ask you something that's somewhere in the middle of the file, and see if you can accurately tell me what it says. Because if that's the case, then all of this trouble, then I could have avoided all this other trouble. Exactly what's sent in the chat. No, I didn't paste anything in the chat. The twist here is that I didn't paste anything into the chat directly. I just asked you to read the last line in the file that you could read, and that was near the bottom of page 9. When you first asked what's the last line you could read, I was limited only to text you pasted. Okay. That's fine, but you still aren't understanding. I started the I uploaded the file first, then I started the new conversation and said, I just uploaded a file. How far can you read? So there was no 1 to 9 pages in the chat at all. You told me that you could only read as far as page 9. That's executing code one line. So it wrote a program to access the That's kind of interesting. But if it can do this, then I don't have a problem. Because if it really does index the thing and can just run into it, then that's great. Got it. Thanks for clarifying the exact sequence and pasting the full text you sent in the initial message. Short answer: when you upload the PDF and start a new conversation, I just uploaded. The system only processed the text visible in that first user message. The pasted roadmap pages, the full PDF upload was attached associated, but in practice at that moment, my visible context was limited to what was. No. Either I'm not understanding what you are saying, or you're not. There wasn't anything pasted. My guess is that my guess, okay, so if you can access anything in the file, for instance, if I tell you a page number, then what logically could have happened is your process for examining a file limits it only to that, we'll say, 15K character context. In other words, it only lets you look at the first 15K characters unless I ask for something specific. So you can't see past page 9 unless I ask for something specifically, and you run code to go there. I always see me executing code, so I am assuming you internally write a script like Python or something that scans the file, but then only reads a small chunk at the beginning. Okay, so we're seeing what's going on here. The upload gives a shallow preview chunk, first 15 characters. That's all the generic how far can you read query ever sees. When for some specific page number, character name, keyword, I switch to the internal PDF browse search tool that's executing code you see. It jumps straight to the requested part, pulls only that slice. So the file is fully accessible, but only on demand, never all at once in one go. That's why the first test stopped by targeted request per. Okay, so I am going to test you a bit first, see how it works, and then we can probably continue on in a bit with a game in a bit. Okay, so let me just go to some place in the middle, some goofy place in the middle. On page 129, on page, is it 125? 120, there's a numbered list. Go to number 59. It starts 59 and read me item 59. No, yeah, 59. it will end with an empty space before a new item, before item 60. So read me item 59 on page 125. If it does it, then we're good. Then I don't have a problem, which is actually pretty good. But we'll see. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. In fact, there's nothing like that in this document. Verifiable access specific deeper page. Okay, so let me actually open the PDF so just to make sure that I'm sure. So I'm gonna go to 125. Actually, it's got an index and everything. That's pretty cool, actually. Uh, go to 125 on here because maybe 125. This is what item 59 shows on page 125. Exact text as copied. Copy. See, it's not even getting that. So it's incorrect. It doesn't index the file, and I can't do a full file. You still have the context window, so it's not doing it as a. I wonder if I could maybe upload it. Layer section design doc. Uh, okay, so you still claim you have full access to the file as long as I give some specific anchor point, as in more text or whatever. keep in mind this is a 300-page doc. I suppose it's possible you can't read the page numbers, so your internal pages might be different. But we'll test again. Let me find another passage or line. Just a moment, please. We're gonna go to if it's indexed. I will say page 169 as PDF pages. Here, let's do something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Let's go into the actual thing in here. Let's go to 169 and make sure that it's the same. The 8, 169. Okay, 28. Okay, so now it's gonna tell me. Okay, it's only telling me 204 words. It's not saying how many lines there are, fortunately. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31, 32, 33, 32, 31. 31? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 30. There's 35 there, but actual active lines. That's very interesting. What? Doggone it. Where's the stupid thing here? Okay, there we go. 56, Gnome Kingdom in the Office in the Mines. Okay. Let's do this again. Why can't I just write down where I want to do it, doggone ya? Why did... There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can give an exact daily, but let's see. 33 lines as counted. Actually, I wonder, do we have a cursor position? No? Alright. As counted. It starts with, okay, 28. Here, let's just go ahead and copy the line. Control C. Here, we'll single quote it. Starts with, then ends with now it's a list of file names and possibly the list of IDs with a description after the dash. For instance, this office in the lines on the last item. It's grouped into three sections. The first section is actually off the page, but there is 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60 section titles visible. So tell me what is in 41 to 50, line 45, line 45. That should be enough context. It should be enough anchor text to provide the line accurately. Lapswood interior. Okay, 45. What is 45? No. Do we have lapswood interior on here anywhere? Nope. Let's see if I can find the text. Lapswood interior. Lapswood interior. There is no lapswood interior. It's not there. So it's just hallucination. Nope. That's a hallucination. There's no such thing as absolute interior. And actually, let's see. 45 laps with 07. Okay, let's okay, but 45, nope, it's Scarborough Fair. Victoria's laps with 07. Find laps with 007. Not found. No laps would 007. You made it up. So that shows me you can't index the whole file. And that you can only read 15K words at a time, give or take 15K characters. It's like characters, not words. Basically, it's just diagonal previous initial trunk the roadmap through page 9. Directly visible. No, that didn't work. Okay. So I did some tests. Apparently, if I start with a new conversation, the most it can read are about 15K characters, give or take. Um, it claimed it indexed the whole file, and I could give it some anchor text to just go directly there, but it failed both times and just made stuff up because it could only see the first 15K pairs of the 600K care document. It sounds that's like 38 files. Or thereabouts. Oh. Also, when the conversation gets too long, it starts losing sessions. I just mean when you log off or turn it off. Hey, Rook. I'm having some trouble with Grok. It's not able to. It's not able to process my huge notes file. Basically, it's a big dump file. It's about 300 pages now. It's 600k uh, characters approximately, and I get there's limitations even on the paid tier, but at the same time, it should be able to index the dang file when I upload it, but it doesn't. When I asked Gemini about it, about this kind of thing, like what it could do, I didn't say what about anything about Grok, but when I asked Gemini, it said that they prefer to keep it in memory because then you don't miss anything. It called when I said, well, can I upload a file and then have you access like storage? So like when I ask you for something, it can just go to the right place and just pick it up. And it says that it could actually do that. What's called retrieval access generation. So actually, then you you have it in an offline storage, and then it's able to scan directly, not put in the memory. But it's saying it's better if you're able to do everything in memory. Gemini claims it can do huge files like that. Um, but apparently Grok is fairly limited. It can only read up to about 9 pages, 8 or 9 pages, about 15,000 characters. Even if I assumed if I uploaded it, because it's supposed to be like a knowledge base or a database, I assume it would look at it like a database. I'd tell it to go, okay, find me the pages where John does something or Hubert is having trouble figuring out how the scepter was stolen, maybe. Um, I don't think it's able to actually index into the file any place. And that's what I expected with the projects thing. The projects is supposed to be you're supposed to be able to upload files, it's supposed to be able to use it. And for some reason it just pulls in the first 15k characters. And not only that, Grok also starts losing messages or conversations uh, when it gets too long. Now I know that traditionally when you're doing an AI chatbot, what happens is it's like a rolling window, right? It's like your newest stuff first, so the oldest stuff will get cut off. In other words, that it won't remember the oldest stuff. That's kind of normal. It's like a queue, right? But in this case, it's like removing sessions or messages from the last session. In other words, all my yesterday's conversation with it, it's totally gone, and it almost even seems to have removed like one a set of messages or a day or a session from before that. So now I have even less on there. So it's I don't know. I'm getting kind of annoyed. I'll still use it. I mean, we paid for it already. We're thinking it would be the best thing to do for right now, but it turns out it's not that great. Much like a person, it's wasting tokens. You can't remember it. Yeah, yeah. I don't have a problem if it works normally, right? Okay, so that obviously the way I expect it isn't necessarily the way it works, right? So I'm not saying I should be able to dictate the way it works, but as far as files go, you should be able to upload a file and should be able to access any part of the file as long as you tell it where to access it at. In other words, I'm not expecting it to have it all in memory and to be able to know what everything says. I'm going to tell it, look at this, give me a line, give me a paragraph, or all the places that this is mentioned. It should be able to go into the file and pull it up. And then on the other end, the actual conversation, I expect that as the context window gets longer and it hits the limit, that older conversation or older messages would get cut off. It gets thrown off, and that's the way I understood it worked for all the AI chatbots. So when it hits its context window, it doesn't remember the original stuff that you put in. That's it's like a queue, right? It's rolling. Or is it? Would it be a queue? What would it be? Anyways, as the head keeps moving forward, uh, the last gets shuffled off of the list. So I would expect that. I wouldn't expect it to lose things from the current position going backward, though. Down to the cipher DeepSeek. Yeah. So I mean, I understand that it's got a smallish context window and it can't keep everything in memory. So I don't really have a problem. I don't have a problem that has limits even on the paid version. My problem is the limits aren't the way you expect them to be. You know what I mean? So I expect my first message, my first 10 messages or 20 messages, whatever. It doesn't really matter, however many, but I expect them to roll off as the conversation goes on. Right? Expect it to be a certain amount of lines or messages, and that the oldest ones are dropped off, so it can't remember all the way back to the beginning. I expect that. I don't expect it to lose whole days from the current position though, and that's why that's weird. Yeah, I might. I'll still be looking at DeepSeek. Maybe. We'll see. For my stuff, it's fine. My dad was gonna do some like VA stuff, VA related stuff, and that's probably not a good idea to send VA related stuff to DeepSeek. So, sending it to China. I mean, it may nothing may happen from it, but still not a great idea. For my game though, it's completely fine. Everything's online. You can see everything. I did hide my GitHub. I did hide the design folder from my GitHub. Kind of on purpose. Kind of something to do with copyrights. I forget exactly why I did it. I didn't want people just to copy my notes and stuff over directly like willy nilly. You know everything. That's fine. Um, but I don't really have like a copyright on them per se. I mean, technically, once they're created, they're copyrighted, but still, it's just that somebody could take it off and use it as their own ideas and all that. Um, but um, so at some point I hit it. I might re-engage it. I might find a way of putting some sort of license on it. So it may not hold up legally, maybe, but it'd be a little bit of protection. I say all this stuff is licensed under MIT or something, or maybe not MIT. Maybe it's just you can't use it. It's copyrighted, so you can't copy it directly. You can download it, look at it, whatever or something. I don't even know. I don't even know what the rights are and stuff. So I just basically I hid the my design document folder. Not I'm not hiding anything of what's in the game or anything like that, or spoilers or anything from anybody watching the streams and stuff. It's just I was thinking maybe it wasn't a good idea to have all my design documents just out there where you can just download them and kind of use them as your own, so to speak. But anyways, yeah. So but I already paid for Grok, so I'll be using it for a year. So I have to figure out how to use it appropriately. Um, Gemini claims it can actually process these big files even on the free tier. So I'm gonna try at some point. I don't know if today, maybe not on stream, maybe later today sometime. I'm gonna try uploading the my dump file, basically my notes, and just to see if the free version of Gemini can actually process it. Maybe I could get it to reorganize it and put it into smaller files, and then um, like organized by topic and whatever, and then I could upload all of them to my Grok project so that it has access to um, just the context that it needs for those things. Anyways, so yeah. Uh, and then come back later to continue the conversation. I expect it to be a uh, rolling list. In other words, old messages are dropped off as I create new messages. But to have them to have the latest messages disappear uh, is quite unexpected. Grok. It's too long. Okay. Create the first room's background. Not yet. Yeah, I know. Really, to get people interested, I gotta be able to show some visuals, but I gotta get this finished. Of course, I wasted today, but I gotta get this finished as soon as I can get this part finished, and then when I am done with the event pass, in fact, I'm gonna try to export it to web, and then I'm gonna try to post it up on my itch.io account so that you can play with it a little bit if you want to. Just just for funsies, basically. You might. I don't really expect anybody to play through the whole game this way in this method, but I'll put it up there just to show that I actually do have something. I did finish something, but I gotta get to that point. I gotta get to the point, and then I'm gonna have to take some time off because I gotta do some house cleaning, some repair work here, some yard work. There's a few things that we got that going on that I have to attend to, and so if I get the event pass done, at least if nothing else ever gets done, at least I finish that. But I most likely am going to continue on with the second half of phase one. Maybe either after a week or maybe after a month. I might give myself a whole month break, and just so I could spend more time like doing home stuff here that I need to do. But also, I'll probably do it as a kind of a working break. In other words, at night before I go to bed, maybe I'll come in and I'll do like a session, and I'll work some ancillary stuff. I'll work on some editing. I'll work on some sketching. I'll work on whatever kind of I feel like it. It won't be the actual. It won't be the narrative pass just yet. Um, but I'll get these things done, and then when I restart, then everything will be ready. And again, I'm gonna divide it up into four deals. I'm gonna have a 5 minute break, so I'm gonna have four 40-minute sessions, two sessions in each stream, and I'm gonna have four different things. I'm gonna have mapping. I'm gonna have some drawing, sketch stuff. I'm gonna do some coding, which is the layout tool, scripting, right? And then I'll be actually working on the narrative pass itself for like 40 minutes, and it'll means it'll go much slower, but at the same time it'll be more interesting because you'll be able to see there'll be more stuff going on. Can disappear, lose context, especially when you log out or close a session. Fails to sync across devices. You hit context length limits. Key points. Grok does not reliably maintain long-term context. While it claims to remember past chats, Alpha target drops all. Yeah, but that's the thing. Entire chats vanishing after the logout, especially if not properly saved or using temporary recovery options. Check recently deleted. Try logging back in, switching devices. No chat reappear. Use bookmarks or export important conversations manually. Uh, yeah, I don't mind losing uh, older messages. That's expected. Losing current messages. That's not expected. In fact, it's darn annoying. I guess I could use that as an effective marker for when to effective signal as to when to create as when to create new conversations. It's not expected behavior, and many users find it frustrating and avoidable. Regardless context limit per session, recent messages should not disappear unless you're in temporary chat. There's a sync bug. Browser app catches corrupted. You hit UI glitch where the messages are hidden in previous edit branch. Bookmark important chats early. Copy and paste long conversations into a document as any chat. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Does make it hard to judge when to start. It's usually max out when you start seeing these things. See, I'm all pretty much out of time right now. That's okay. Uh, I'm not super worried. I'm not super worried. Tomorrow, I'll probably really get into and try to see how fast and far I can get. I might even just be so quick that that it feels shallow compared to the rest of it. The rest of it, I was thinking through logicality, puzzles, that sort of thing. Well, really, this was supposed to be kind of a quickie phase, anyways. So maybe these last phases will be as quickie as I can possibly make them, as generic as I can do it, just so that I can get on with the next part of it. If I do it, if I do it right, I won't miss anything because later on, after I go through and kind of, you know, re like I won't necessarily rewrite everything, but as I go rewrite it, modify it, and whatever, I'll be able to fix anything that seems too shallow or too illogical or whatever. Which is kind of how I should have approached this in the first place. I could have got done even quicker probably if I would have just not tried too hard on making everything logical and stuff. Re-upload critical files. Okay. So if I, yeah, okay. Well, anyways, um, sorry I didn't get anything done here today, everybody, but that's them's the breaks sometimes. I'll be on track tomorrow though for sure, and see if I can. We'll see if I can get everything done by the 31st. I'm just gonna like I said, I'm just gonna try to blitz through everything, even if it's not very good or logical or whatever, just so I can get this part done. Get this part done. I can worry about spending more time later. I could worry about fixing stuff. I have like 18 phases to go through. This is only the first part of phase one. This is only the first half of phase one, so um, I have plenty of time to actually fix and modify stuff, and it's gonna be modified considerably by the time it gets to a usable puzzle stage. And actually, when it gets to the text parser stage, when I get ready to start adding animations and full graphics and everything, um, the whole game will be pretty much locked in with what everything that goes, how it reads in text, where everything is mapped out to, where all the puzzles are, what items there are, everything will be there. And then the later phases will be just about mostly about adding animated content and stuff, adding graphics and that sort of thing. It's similar to gray boxing. It's like you put a bunch of gray boxes in a 3D game, like a shooter, for instance, and then you make sure everything works how you want to. You know, different weapons, guns, how the running and crouching and how the subsystems work, and then it's like that. It's like you don't not spending a lot of time putting in all of the detail. Anyways, that does it for today, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching part two, even though I didn't get anything done today. So that's the way that works. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow.